The purpose of this video is to demonstrate search techniques useful for working within research databases. While the searching in this lesson will focus around the topic of progressivism as part of U.S. history, the strategies demonstrated could be applied to any research topic. In this video, I will specifically be focusing on three things. First, the structure of articles within databases. Number two, the advanced search feature within research databases. And three, how to execute targeted search strategies. To get yourself thinking about a potential line of inquiry, it's a good idea to create a list of subtopics related to your overall umbrella topic, which in this case for me is progressivism. The list that I'm about to reveal is by no means exhaustive, and it definitely reflects my personal understanding of progressivism. But again, the list is just the first step to start thinking about potential areas of research. Here's a quick review of the items on my list, two of which I will use to demonstrate searching. I will use Jacob Riis and tenements. Riis was a photojournalist whose photography exposed poor living and working conditions within urban America during the Progressive period. One subject that he often photographed was immigrant life within tenement housing. Before I show a sample search in order to demonstrate how I would go about looking for information on my topic, I would like to review how articles within a database are organized. All research databases, such as Google and EBSCOhost, contain tens of thousands of articles coming from books, magazines, newspapers, and academic journals. Knowing how these articles are structured is important in order to carry out effective database searching. As the top of this slide states, database articles have various parts, and they're commonly called fields. Searching within individual fields or combining a search to include multiple fields helps to produce the best search results. Below are the common fields within database articles. We first see the title field, followed by the author and source fields. The source is the publication where the article first appeared. In other words, the source is the magazine or the book or the academic journal or newspaper that carried or published the article. The next most important fields are the subject terms and the abstract. The abstract is a short summary of the overall article and is sometimes simply called a summary. Now, besides these fields, which really amount to a description of the article, besides these, the database will of course include the actual article, the full-length article. You can see the full text of a sample article here on the right. All these fields and the full text of the article, the entire document in other words, will provide opportunities to target your searching. This will be illustrated on the next slides. The top of this slide reads this way: use advanced search rather than simple search. Database articles have various parts commonly called fields, which can be searched separately. By using the advanced search feature within a research database, you can manipulate how the database's search engine will look for your search terms. Using advanced search is the first thing we want to really remember regarding search techniques. We want to use advanced searching because it allows us to tell the database where to look for our search terms. You can get an idea of the advanced search options by looking at the search fields listed below in the sample I've put together to demonstrate the Gale database. As listed on the slide, you see that a keyword search within Gale will search important fields of all documents, but it will not search the full text of all documents. Keyword searches, regardless of the database being used, will typically search the following fields: title, author, source, subject, and the abstract. Now, if you were to choose to search only the title field, then the database's search engine would ignore everything else. That means your search term would need to appear in the title of the articles in order for it to show up in your search results. The next image, which comes from the library's EBSCO database, shows a slightly different advanced search screen. That's because all databases will work a little differently, even though the principles of searching will uniformly apply across all of them. One thing that is unique to EBSCO is the necessity to click full text when running your search. One other thing to know about EBSCO is that a keyword search is EBSCO's default setting. So here where it says selecting a field is optional, if you were to leave that as it is, you'd be simply running a keyword search. On this next slide, it says at the top, use keywords rather than natural language. Because databases tend to work differently than Google, it's best to use specific search terms, keywords, rather than overload the search with too much text. If I were to ask the search engine to deal with a huge amount of text, a search string like this, it might struggle to deliver results. Asking, quote, was Jacob Riis and his, was Jacob Riis and his muckraking photography responsible for improving tenement conditions in the Progressive Era? Asking that is just too complex. Rather than do this, it's best to search with precise and short search terms, such as simply Jacob Riis and tenement. After running such a search and evaluating the results, you can always make adjustments later as needed. And that brings us to the next slide. Because of the different fields within database articles, you can limit or expand search results by modifying your search. If your initial search, returns too many results, meaning to say the results are too numerous to read or evaluate, you can try limiting the results by doing the following. 1, you could change where the search engine looks for your terms. And or 2, you could add more targeted search terms. For example, rather than searching for Jacob Riis as a keyword, I could narrow down where the search engine can look for the same term, for the name Jacob Riis. I might look just in the title field, which would tend to produce more targeted results. That's because only articles with Riis in the title would be brought back to my screen. Another way I could make my results more focused would be to add additional search terms that the search engine would need to find in addition to my original search terms. Here I illustrate by adding the term reform. Thus, in this sample search, I'd be looking for Jacob Riis in the title field, along with the words tenement and reform in any of the important fields mentioned earlier. Now, if you had the opposite problem, if your initial search returned too few results, you could try expanding results by again changing where the terms get searched. You could, for example, look for reform, the word reform, throughout every word of every document. That would certainly increase the chances of finding that term. And if the results were still too few, you could do the same with the word tenement. And you might even go on to change your primary search term, in this case, Jacob Riis. You might change that to a keyword search if you weren't getting enough results. There are other ways to place limits on searches or to expand search results. In EBSCO, for example, rather than run my search in one EBSCO database, such as Master File Premier, I could choose to run my search in all EBSCO databases. Now that would, of course, increase the opportunities to find information on my topic, but it would also likely bring back information that's probably irrelevant to my topic. I therefore wouldn't necessarily recommend that you do an all-database search within EBSCO. After running an EBSCO search, there are many options available for narrowing down results. On the left-hand sidebar, you can see the option to choose a type of source, such as a newspaper, or you could even choose a particular publication date range. A couple more that you could do within EBSCO to expand results are available on the initial search screen. I could say, for example, to apply words related to my search terms, or I could say to find any of my search terms rather than all of my search terms. Before I end this video, I'll leave you with one final thought. Database searching takes time and can be frustrating. It normally takes a good deal of trial and error, including using a variety of search terms and searching within different fields in order to begin to get results. Hopefully the tips I've mentioned today will help you in that process. Should you have any questions, please feel free to email me or reach out, and I'd be happy to help. Other videos located in this step on the Research Paper Steps page will also be helpful in shaping your searches. Good luck.